Sometimes applications need to run some long-lasting tasks in the background to synchronize with the server or to fetch some new updates, for instance. And when this needs to happen at application startup, it may cause some delay, making the actual UI appear after a bunch of seconds or even a minute in the worst case, resulting in a poor user experience. This is the perfect case where a splash screen could be very handy. Hello everyone and welcome to this new episode from the Avalonia UI series. In this video we'll see how to make a beautiful splash screen. As usual, if you like the video and want to support the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. In this episode we'll see two different approaches on how to create a splash screen in Avalonia. In one project we'll handle the main interactions manually. In the second one, we'll leverage the FluentUI library to handle all the screen window interactions for us. Searching for how to make a custom splash screen, I found this interesting approach from Kivarsen on GitHub, where the Avalonia main window is manually set to the splash screen at the beginning and then to the real main window after loading. So first thing first, let's create the Avalonia project. You can use the following command line, but make sure you have the avalonia.net templates installed. This will create a new Avalonia application using the communitytoolkit.mvvn library. Now create the splash screen view model using the following code. There isn't much going on here. We have a startup message set as observable property and the cancellation token in case the user wants to cancel the application loading. Now let's design the actual splash screen view. In this case we have a simple box with a main title, a label that changes based on the view model startup message, and a cancel button to stop the loading process anytime. Don't forget to set the system decorations to none in the window tag, so to hide the title bar like a real splash screen. And now the juicy part. Let's go to the app XAML code behind, inside the onFramework initialization complete method. Let's change its signature from void to async task. Put the following code inside the if statement. Then first instantiate the splash screen view model. Create the splash screen view and pass the view model. Assign the desktop.main window to the splash screen view and call the show method. This will draw the splash screen window on screen. Now inside the try catch, let's simulate some background processes by adding some delay and changing the splash screen message. A task cancelled exception will be raised when the user clicks on the cancel button. Remember to close the splash screen in this case, otherwise the app will not shut down. Once the simulated loading has finished, we can instantiate the main window and its view model, assign it to the desktop main window, replacing the previous splash screen, show the main window, and only then close the splash screen. The order is important in this case, because if you close the splash screen before showing the main window, the app will just shut down without showing anything. And that should be it regarding how to make a custom splash screen. If you want to dig into the details, feel free to download the source code from the GitHub repo. Just be aware that this approach, even if it's simple, has some interesting drawbacks, mostly due to how async await works. You can find a detailed explanation inside an open discussion on the official Avalonia repo. There's also a Reddit post where Kivarsen explains more about how to implement a splash screen. You can find all the links in the video description. For the second approach, we need to install and configure the FluentUI UI package. If you don't know how to do it, I made a dedicated video on it. You can find the link in the description. Once the library is properly configured, the first thing to do is to create a splash screen view. This will be the UI representing the splash screen itself, so be as creative as you wish. In this example, you can see the channel logo, and below that a progress bar plus a loading text that changes over time, faking some background processing. You can use your preferred image as a source of the image control, or fetch the one used in this example from the Mamma Mia Dev official repo. Now let's create a new init app method and put it inside the splash screen view code behind. The code is too long to be displayed here on screen, so feel free to grab it from the GitHub repo and paste it in your app. We'll see only a couple of pieces. The purpose of this code is to simulate different background running processes, to fill up a progress bar bit by bit, and to update some text from time to time using the UI thread. Cool, so far we've designed and coded our splash screen. Now it's time to leverage the Fluent Avalonia UI library and make it work in a way that the splash screen will appear before our main window. Everything rotates around the iApplication splash screen interface. So create a new class called Complex Splash Screen, which implements the interface and all the related properties. You can leave most of the properties to their default values and just assign to the splash screen content a new instance of the splash screen view. Then call the init app inside the run tasks method. This is where all the heavy lifting will be executed. As a final step, let's assign a new instance of the complex splash screen we just defined to the splash screen property of our main window inside the view constructor. This property will only be available after you make the main window extend the app window class from the Fluent Avalonia UI library instead of the standard window type from the Avalonia controls namespace. And that's it. Now if you hit play, you should see your new, beautiful splash screen loading before your main window gets displayed. As you can see, the two approaches are a bit different from each other. The custom one is a bit more complex, but allows you to dig into some async await peculiarities and gives you more flexibility when it comes to customization. The second approach, on the other hand, is way more simple, but has some standard configurations that are a bit more cumbersome to customize. And that's pretty much it for this video. As usual, you can find all the source code on GitHub, and if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching.